USL fans, how are we doing? Kelsi, Steele here alongside my main guy, Scott, Stu. Stu, how are we doing today?
Just missing the USL, Kelsi. I can't even begin to fathom describing or failing to describe how much I'm looking forward to the eventual return to play. I've got my USL corporate hat on. As you can see, it identifies the Championship, League One, and League Two, so I think this is fashionable. Rocking the captain's band today, rocking a little St. Louis FC goalkeeping shirt. I got the gloves on. We're ready to do this. We're ready to get back in the game, you know?
So I just want to say before we get into our draw, which is why everybody's here, not to hear us kind of banter back and forth, but I'm just really appreciative that you just kind of fully took the branding on yourself rather than me having to come at you and make fun of you, because that was looming quickly.
I feel responsible to sort of rep the Championship brand especially. But listen, we got some League One clubs in on this bad boy too, and I'm not taking – I feel like I shirked them a little bit on this Rocket League thing. So I kind of want to – we're going to show some League One love in this too. I don't have League One gear yet.
I love it. Well, you're dressed for success, and we've got another draw headed our way. It's the USL eCUP FIFA 20 edition. So you guys wanted more, and we're here to bring you more while our actual play here is on a hiatus. Listen, we're really excited for this one. I think you guys are gonna love the format of what this tournament's gonna look like, as well as everybody that we've got represented going through this tournament. So we've got 32 teams in this draw, spanning across Championship and League One, like Scott said. And obviously Tucson and Omaha were the stars of Rocket League. So League One really has a reputation to uphold here in the FIFA 20 edition. Congratulations to Trent Whelan, of course, for running the Rocket League tournament these past few weeks. Now we're going over to the FIFA 20 side of things. So over the next few weeks, we are going to have a full-on tourney of sorts, and we're looking at kicking off play on May 4th. But Scott, I know you have a lot of, the good information when it comes to what exactly this format is going to look like, because people have been asking for one thing in particular for a very long time, and we're kind of giving it to them.
A little bit. Yeah. We're dipping our toes in the water. I think you could say that. But so what's unique about this, right? And I think it's important that everybody knows, we didn't just want to have a FIFA tournament, right? Anybody can just put on a FIFA tournament. You throw some teams together, you put them in a World Cup style. No, we wanted to go a little bit further here. So we are, for the first time in our knowledge, implementing a promotion and relegation style divisional play to the USL eCUP FIFA 20 edition. So what that's going to look like is we will have 32 teams divided into 3 groups. So I know what you're thinking, 32, not divisible by 3. Don't worry. We've already done the math, believe it or not. We're going to be breaking down.
Right? And he can do math, you guys.
I know, right?
You guys got it all.
Just insane, pure insanity. But we're looking at it like this. So Division A is going to have 12 teams. Division B will have 12 teams. And Division C will have 8 teams. So the way this will work is there will be 1 week of qualifying play. You earn points based on qualifying play, and then that performance will drop you into the division, either A, B, or C from there. How promotion and relegation will work is, obviously, you win games, you accrue points, you move either up your division, and you can win your division and then ultimately be promoted. Or if you don't do as well, we'll just say, we're not going to name any names yet. We're going to get to the prediction element of this first. But if you don't do as hot, obviously you not only lose points for the performance in the game, but then you lose points for getting relegated from either A to B or B to C. All of that is to say, the most basic thing to understand is you win the games. If you stay in Division A, you're in great shape. If you get promoted from C to B or B to A, you're in great shape. The most points at the end of the 5-week divisional play will be crowned our USL eCUP FIFA 20 edition champ. So I think this has a lot of promise. It's a unique tournament format, but I think that's why we're into this.
I think, too, what's going to be really cool about this edition of the eCUP is we're looking at groupings now. So people are playing for their place, but we're also, since there are divisions this time around, games are going to be a lot more competitive rather than some of the blowouts we saw in the Rocket League side of things. So I think it's going to make the game overall a lot more exciting. And, I think I'm hoping it'll bring a lot more banter and that competitive spirit we're all kind of missing over on that side as well. So I think when we look at this as a whole, we've got to look at seeding first and foremost. And listen, you guys, this is really simple. We're going right off of the FIFA 20 seedings. So this has nothing to do with us. We took them directly from there. So the first 32 teams that FIFA has ranked, that's just transferring on over. And then we've got all of our 32 USL Championship and League One clubs are going to be represented by a national team. And what that looks like is that's a team chosen at random. We had also nothing to do with that. So every team is going to be representing a national team. They're seeded, and I'm excited. I'm ready to unveil this. I want to give the people what they want. Scott?
Yeah, it's just so unique, right? I think that's kind of the cool part, and there are two different styles that we could have run this tournament too as well. I just got to show off the gloves a little bit more because why else would I be wearing them? We got two different. I know, thank you. Two different formats too. So you can obviously play under two different roster formats too, right? You can play under the latest download roster format of you're just going to download whatever the latest FIFA 20 patch setting is, or you could play with this sort of 85 overall mode where every team, regardless of player, regardless of team, every player was ranked at 85, 3-star skill moves, 3-star weak foot. Surprisingly to me, at least, maybe not to everybody, but surprisingly to me, the teams opted for the latest download. They did not want the hey, everybody's on a level playing field from the start. And so I thought that was of note as well. But I think that's another thing that makes this unique, right? If you get Argentina, congrats, you get Leo Messi. And if you get, let's just say the United States, then you get Christian Pulisic. That's, I think it's a cool part of this.
Are they comparable, Scott? I feel like you just compared those two together.
Random examples, nothing but random examples. We're just throwing names out today, folks.
I love it. Well, let's get into the seedings. What do you say?
Yeah, let's hit it. Absolutely.
We're going to hit you with the seedings and affiliations all at one time, going down from team number 32 seeded all the way down to the number 1 team in the FIFA tournament. So let's get it going. Our number 32 seed in FIFA 20 tournament is Louisville City, representing Wales. We've got, in the 31 seed, Charleston, representing Greece. Does that mean the Papadakis family is going to be pulling for Charleston?
Heavy on the battery, and the battery, the rebrand has things looking fresh out there. High expectations, clearly.
High expectations. We keep moving along. Number 30 is going to be the Switchbacks. So they've got Paraguay in that 30 spot. 29 is going to be Tacoma Defiance with Slovenia. Number 28 is going to be the United States of America. And their team affiliation will be FC Tulsa.
Ooh, wow, okay. That's a surprise.
That's a surprise. Why is that a surprise for you? Who were you expecting?
I was going to say, I guess it's all a surprise in theory, but I can confidently tell you that I did not sit here and pair Tulsa in my head with the U.S. from the get-go, at least.
I love it. All right, number 27, we've got Birmingham Legion, affiliated with Ireland.
Okay.
Two more left. We've got number 26, Orange County is affiliated with Cameroon. And then we've got number 25 rounding us out in this group here. The Ivory Coast and Indy 11 are going to be affiliated on this one. Any initial thoughts here, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be tough here, Kelsi, is, and let me tell you, I've done all the research humanly possible to be able to
be the expert, so they say.
Yeah, to come at you with accurate analysis of each team. I think right away, when you look at Louisville City, the main advantage is Gareth Bale and being able to fly down the left or right-hand side with that. I know they have a couple players that are going to be repping them. They also have some fans who are quite experienced on the FIFA front, so I'm excited for them. Tulsa, I think they've got to make the most out of it. They'll bring the social banter to the U.S. front. What's going to be interesting, though, is how well they handle the heat of repping the home country. I think I'm going to keep my eyes on that one as well. And then Indy 11 with the Ivory Coast. I mean, Jordan Farr, I think, is repping them from the player side. And
Yeah.
I mean, it had a great E-League or had a great Rocket League eCUP run, but I need to see it on the FIFA sticks before I give a confident opinion one way or another. But all a promising start for the championship, if I may say so.
I was going to say, I think Jordan Farr really stuck out to me for Indy 11, kind of just continuing that his E-League E-Cup representation. And then I think we have to look about the Louisville City side as well. Don't look over those guys in the number 32 spot. You've got Magnus Rasmussen, who knows a thing or two about scoring goals in this league. So him on the sticks is something that I want no part of. So,
well, let me tell you, Magnus is one of the most plugged in people when it comes to paying attention to European soccer. So I guarantee you that guy has not only seen Wales play, but he will be able to line them up in the most efficient way to maximize each individual player's strengths. High expectations for that guy in Louisville City FC.
Making the most of his opportunity. I love it. All right, let's get into 24 through 15. Scott, who do we got?
24 through 15. Let's run it through. Some interesting ones that I can already pick out, but we'll start with number 24. That is Hartford Athletic lining up with the Scottish national team. I think that one has some promise from the get-go. But 24, Hartford and Scotland. Running down the list, number 23, it is our Rocket League E-Cup champs, FC Tucson, matched up with the Czech Republic. 22, we are looking at LA Galaxy 2, matched up with Sweden. Now, normal LA Galaxy getting matched up with Sweden would make all the sense in the world. Zlatan, an illustrious career in LA with the Galaxy, but the Galaxy 2 having to rep a Sweden-less Zlatan with the number 22 seed. I like that one. Number 21, Sacramento Republic FC pairing up with the Mexican national team. Something tells me Rodrigo Lopez may or may not be happy with that pick in particular.
Is he rigging this?
He may be rigging it. I don't know that we have any proof that this isn't rigged by anyone outside this organization. I can't speak to that because I would never rig it personally. I know you might, Kelsi, but that's a different discussion. We'll keep moving. Number 20, kicking it back to League One, it's Union Omaha getting matched up with Norway. And Kelsi, I'll be the first one to confidently tell you I know absolutely nothing about the Norwegian national team, so that one might be a tough break for Union Omaha when they get in this tournament.
Or is it another chance for them just to kind of fly under the radar again? They did a P-Cup.
You know what? If you don't know anything about the starting 11, then neither does your opponent. I can tell you that much. And so I think that's the strategy for Union Omaha moving into it. I dig it. Into the teens at 19, it'll be New York Red Bulls 2, and they have drawn with Chile. And word has it, Red Bulls 2 has solicited or elicited the help of some talented FIFA 20 players, not just on the club roster front. They may or may not have some fans that participate in some pretty illustrious and prestigious FIFA tournaments. So we'll see. I think I'll just put it this way. I think Chile is an appropriate decision and pairing for a club that might have an unfair advantage from the get-go. What do you think?
Okay, leaving it up for speculation a little bit there.
A little bit there.
What they want together.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not one of my favorites for the tournament, which was probably, once again, I make a mistake. But hindsight 2020, you can only move forward, right? So 19, New York Red Bulls with Chile. Moving down the list in the teens, we've got 15 through 18 left. We'll start with 18. North Carolina FC getting drawn with Turkey, which I think is interesting. Enjoy playing with Nuri Sahin in the midfield. North Carolina FC. We'll see what comes out of that one. Number 17, New England Revolution 2 getting drawn with Russia. If this was 2018, they'd be pumped to be hosting the World Cup. It is not. It's 2020. We'll see what they can make out of getting paired with Russia. 16, we're staying in League One. It's Greenville Triumph getting paired with Poland. And listen, I know that head coach John Harkes can strike a ball, but I don't know if anyone can strike a ball quite as well as Robert Lewandowski does for Poland. So we'll need some assistance. They'll need to rely on the big number 9 up front if they're going to convert. But the Polish national team, underrated, sitting at number 16 there. And then we'll round it out. 15, we're going back to the championship. I really like this one. I have zero actual reasoning why. Real Monarchs SLC getting matched up with Switzerland. That's Xherdan Shaqiri and the Swiss national team. Wow, I've seen a lot of things today. I like almost all of them, Kelsi. Those were some promising picks right there.
I just want to say, Scott, that I truly feel like you have waited for this exact moment. Like the way that you just delivered that draw, the people cannot ask for anything more. This is your time.
I'm here to provide. If excitement breeds excitement, and we can all be passing around good vibes right now, then that's what we're looking for. And listen, I'm not kidding about 16 in Greenville Triumph on Poland. That's a dark horse pick. We'll get into it, but that's where I'm thinking immediately.
All right. We'll get back to that because obviously we have our top picks coming as well. But we've got the second half of the draw to get through, so I'm going to go through 14 through 6 now. All right, let's get this going. Loudoun United. It's going to be in that 14 spot affiliated with Denmark. We're going to go then number 13 seed. Tampa Bay Rowdies with Colombia. I like that affiliation. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's a nice combination for success there, Scott.
Okay.
For no rhyme or reason. I've got an inkling.
Yeah, once again, this is purely factual analysis, and we are happy to have fact-checked all of these things before coming into this production. So I'm with you.
We do nothing but do things accurate.
To the full. To the full.
Number 12, Austria and Memphis 901 FC are teaming up there. Number 11, Las Vegas Lights and Uruguay. And then we're into our top 10 here, guys. Number 10 seed in the FIFA 20 tournament, RGV FC and Brazil are locking arms there. What do you think of that one?
That's a big dub for RGV. I think it's harsh on Memphis. No offense to the Austrian national team, but 12th is ambitious. So I feel Memphis was a little hard done by, but I feel like where Memphis's pain is being experienced, RGV's gain is being experienced because Brazil as a 10 seed, that's favorable for RGV to say the least.
Agreed. And of course, they're going to be looking down at that number 9 seed. And I imagine getting a little bit nervous with the got stacked up here with Argentina. Of course, El Paso, Locomotive FC, and that number 9 spot, they have to be pretty pumped to have that Argentina side.
Absolutely, 100%. Argentina, one of the most naturally talented teams in the game. The question is, you got a Ferrari in the front, but you got a little bit of a pickup truck in the back. You're going to need to balance that power or else you're going to find yourself in trouble defensively.
Where did you pull that analogy from? Who are you?
My brain. Listen, I don't know if I've been losing brain cells at an unprecedented rate throughout quarantine or if we've been gaining them, but either way, the idea train just keeps rolling, I think.
Please keep the analogies coming, please.
Yeah, I got you. I'll do what I can, at least, on that front.
All right, we're going to keep it rolling here. Miami FC and England in that number 8 spot. And then number 7, Phoenix has to be just absolutely amped about having the Netherlands as their team affiliation. I absolutely love this duo together. And when you look at who Phoenix has on the keys for them for this tournament, I don't know if there's a more dangerous duo out there with the guys that they have on their roster, plus the Netherlands lineup, Scott.
Yeah, the Dutch national team's solid, right? And obviously, Phoenix being Phoenix and having Corey Whalen, they have the Dutch national team has a couple Liverpool players, so we know Corey's going to be happy about that one. They've got plenty of firepower up top. They've got an incredibly talented attack led by Memphis Depay. They've got a solid midfield. If Phoenix has any Barcelona fans, they'll be happy to know Frankie de Jong can start in the center of the park for them. So Phoenix definitely going to be, if they're reaping what they're sowing, and then they're sowing a lot with the Dutch. So I'm in here for this one.
The analogies in this FIFA 20 draw, you guys are welcome. Number 6 to finish this group here, Austin Bold FC is going to be affiliated with Italy. So now we're getting into our top 5 here. Obviously, I think there's quite a few front runners that we could pull from this group, Scott. But I think I want to get into the top 5. The people need to know. So take us away.
So I think what's interesting here is if you've not yet heard your club's name called, I'm sure you are just on pins and flipping needles trying to figure out. So when you think about it, right, we've got the top 5 nations in the world. If you've not heard those countries called either, you're probably starting to do a little mental math. Okay, if I'm Charleston, am I going to get with Cristiano Ronaldo, or am I going to be with Eden Hazard in Belgium? If I'm with Charlotte, am I going to be with Toni Kroos in Germany? Will I be with the Paul Pogbas of the world in France? We'll start with number 5, Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo, European champs, one of the greatest currently assembled national teams, paired up with, they had a little bit of a rough run in the Rocket League eCUP, but they've owned up to it, and they're coming back with a renewed fire. Portugal, Oklahoma City Energy FC. I'm a big fan of that pairing. I think that they can bring it. I think they can.
I like that one a lot, Scott.
We'll see, though. We'll see. Because if Portugal's off the board, that means we're hopping down to number 4. Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC paired up with the Belgian national team. I think that's a pick you're going to feel pretty comfortable with. And obviously, we're in the top 5 now, so I hope everyone's happy with who they're getting drawn against. But Belgium might be a little bit of an extra win, if you ask me, for Pittsburgh. We'll move down. It is their friends just across the state in the number 3 seed, Philadelphia Union 2, paired up with the Spanish national team, La Roja. Plenty of options in attack, an incredible midfield, and obviously one of the most defensively sound teams in recent memory. But it's time to get excited. We are down to the final 2 slots, and we'll start with number 2. We'll give you the FIFA team first because I think that's where it gets most enticing. Number 2, we are with France, the 2018 World Cup champions. A laundry list of incredible talents on that 23-man roster. But number 2, St. Louis FC, getting paired with one of the greatest teams. FIFA says it's the second greatest team. I think it's the greatest national team in the game. So props St. Louis FC. Big expectations there, which means we've only got one team left. The Gemins, number 1, the Gemin national team, paired up with the Charlotte Independence. Charlotte, congrats, y'all. The number 1 seed, the number 1 pick in the 2020 FIFA eCUP draft. You're getting the big dogs. Germany, one of the most successful teams in recent memory, and certainly on the international stage. Now just a question of what translates from the field to the sticks. I'm excited.
There you have it, all 32 teams and their seedings and national team affiliations. So the scene's set, but we've got play starting right away on Monday, May 4th. And some of those teams that we've talked about today are kicking off right out of the gate here. Obviously, the one that you just mentioned, Charlotte Independence, they're going off against Louisville City FC. So number 1 versus number 32. We're going to see it in that very first game of the FIFA 20 tournament. So that's Monday, May 4th. Do you think Wales has a chance in that one? We see it upset early?
Here's the cool part, right? Like, without us having a whole lot of base knowledge on what people are bringing to the table, I don't see any reason why Wales can't beat Germany. We saw Wales make an incredible run in the Euros a few years ago. I'm just as inclined to say anything is possible. We'll borrow a phrase from my good friend Kevin Garnett from the Boston Celtics, early 2010s NBA Finals. Anything is possible. I want to see it, though. Louisville's got to bring their A game, and that starts with Magnus, but it runs all the way down the list, too. They've got a big team.
And there's quite a few other really good kickoffs there on Monday. You've got Tampa Bay, of course, Pittsburgh. They were in that top 5. Let's see what we got. I'm interested to kind of see what Indy and Miami, that matchup's going to look like as well. So a few really good ones here out of the gate on Monday. And, of course, we're going to continue that play-in bracket all the way through Friday, May 8th with our final matchups there. Just 2 on Friday, but that will kind of seal the deal for us, Scott, in terms of what these divisions are going to look like and what we can expect over the next 6 weeks or so.
Absolutely, and I think it's cool, right? Because on paper you would look at even Wales, Germany, and you'd be like, well, that's going to be a blowout. But again, different skill levels are coming from all 32 teams involved here in the championship in League One. And so, again, who's to say that if Indy 11 and the Ivory Coast are taking on England and Miami FC, that we couldn't see a really cool upset. So I think the novelty of the experiences is what I'm looking forward to most here.
Yeah, you just don't know. And so I think that's what makes this next part just so fun, Scott, because you and I have picked our two clubs to watch. And of course, weeks and weeks of research on our part, laying together who we think the best representatives are going to be. This is as expert analysis as it can come, honestly. I don't think it could get any more accurate, any more on point and passionate than the two picks that you and I are going to bring to the table, Scott.
I'd say spot the lie, but I'm blind if I'm trying to spot the lie.
So hit me. I want your first two picks, Scott. So who do you have going all the way?
Well, Kelsi, I think it's most appropriate for me to start with the fact that you pick against America, and I think you're picking against the wrong team, right? So we've got to start with the home country heroes, FC Tulsa, repping the United States from out west. Some big shoes to fill, I think, if you ask me. And listen, I would never disparage this country's national team in any way, shape, or form. But I will say they're going to have to maximize that 11-man starting squad and figure out who belongs in there, who doesn't. May have to make some tough decisions. May have to leave some key personnel in the 18 or maybe out of the starting 11 and bench entirely, and just say, hey, we'll leave you up for consideration, but you're not going to make this round. I think that's a big one for me. But I'm going to just kind of be a little coward and just own up to it and just say that I'm going with St. Louis FC in France as the other pick because
that was the only jersey you had?
Well, no, I have a couple of these, but that's for later, definitely. I respect the PR team in St. Louis. Great guys. I believe they assemble a solid squad. I think that they all take FIFA 20 very seriously, and I think they know what's at stake in this tournament, which is complete and utter fictional bragging rights. They will take it seriously, though, and they will go all out for it. And with a national team like France, I'm finding it hard-pressed if I can't put the U.S. at the absolute top alone, then we'll at least pair them with France up there. So I'm going with St. Louis and Tulsa repping France and the U.S. respectively.
I love it. And I truly appreciate you kind of just going all in and repping St. Louis today for the show, Scott. I'm sure the St. Louis and everybody over there is just super appreciative of your commitment to your pick. So we'll see kind of how that runs. I feel like you're kind of copping out there, taking the number 2 seed. It's not really much of a risk, but
it's stirring up some dirt again. Here we go again.
Does taking the U.S. kind of even it out a little bit for you? You kind of went two opposite ends of the spectrum there.
Let's just say I'm trying to keep it even, go with the favorites, I don't even want to call them the underdogs. And I think now is probably just a good time to quit talking and let you get to your picks instead.
I love it. All right. So my two picks, my first one out of the gate here has to be the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the number 4 seed, AKA Belgium. I don't really think this needs an explanation, Scott. We're talking about the side that currently sits atop the FIFA World Ranking. I know you mentioned that you think it should be France, but FIFA thinks differently. So right now, I feel like if we're talking about an overall ranking in that number that we have, Belgium's got it.
Okay.
And also, has anybody talked about the fact that Belgium has a cover star, you guys? This is celebrity status now with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Eden Hazard. The cover of the standard edition of FIFA 20. He's got the best overall rating in the whole thing, 91. Not a bad guy to have on your side, and he's a model. He was on the cover, Scott.
He's not bad. I've heard of him every once in a while. I would just like to point out, though, that if France is a cop-out squad, that then picking the 4th best team in the country and number 1 in the FIFA World Rankings doesn't really help your case any either. But
I mean, listen, when you have somebody like Roberto Martinez and then you've got a big-time coach like Bob Lilly as well, I feel like that just kind of comes together. It just makes sense.
You're right.
To align. And I'm like, how can I not get behind that?
Natural parallels.
And like, let's be real on top of this. I love Belgium. Underrated country, amazing people, great beer.
Yep.
Heck of a time. Belgium, Pittsburgh. I'm seeing you guys all the way through. And then, of course, we've got to talk about my second pick, which I am very much into. I have North Carolina FC and Turkey. going and making a nice little run here in this tournament, so Scott. So obviously not at the level, at least in the FIFA rankings, Turkey is. And we were talking about like number 18 seed here. But they're a little bit of my dark horse. I like the idea of North Carolina FC matching up with them. Dre Fortune mixing it up in the midfield, and I think he is just going to kind of translate that when he's given the keys and put this Turkish team on his back and just completely change the game. I mean, have you seen this guy's celebrations on the actual pitch? Like, Dre Fortune, smooth. Gonna bring some style to the eCUP. I, for one, am just like so hyped to see what Dre Fortune brings to the field. And then, I mean, let's be real. The country's name is Turkey. So cool.
So cool. Unparalleled, honestly. There's literally not another country in the world that's named Turkey. I think they've got that going for them for sure.
They've got that going for him.
Yeah, incredible set of picks. Again, we'll leave the clear and obvious bias of picking. You know, Bob Lilly and Roberto Martinez probably literally the exact same coaching model as is. North Carolina, Turkey, though, big fan of that pick. I'm excited to see how that one turns out for you as the tournament evolves.
I appreciate that, Scott, and I respect your picks as well. I think we have a heck of a tournament here that's going to be running from May 4th all the way through June 14th. So that's including, obviously, our play-in round and divisional matchup as well. But you have to think that the fact that we're bringing in the pro-rel side of things is going to make this tournament super fun. And I was just saying earlier how I'm so excited to have the guys get back on social and kind of throw some banner back and forth, because if there's one thing that these guys in our league love, it's a little bit of FIFA. We've seen it the last few weeks, you know, so they've been perfecting their craft a bit, and I'm kind of excited to see who throws some punches early.
And I just, you know, for all watching and for all involved in the actual tournament, we are absolutely paying attention to who is big upping themselves and who is not. So let's just say that if you're going to talk the talk, then the walk better be walked, because notes are being taken throughout. So, yeah, I think this is cool. We're obviously really, really thrilled to be able to do something in the esports initiative, in the esports world again. And what better than FIFA? So, yeah, I'm ready to get this thing going.
And I think we definitely have to make sure that we mention that we're continuing that charity component like we had with the Rocket League edition of the USL eCUP. So we're allowing clubs to nominate charities of their choosing. And then, of course, that link will be provided on our page and their pages. And fans can chip in and support their local charities during this time as well. And you'll see that component on Twitch channels and websites, social, everywhere around. So there is no shortage of donation here. Anything and everything is welcome, and I think the teams did a really great job here for the charity side of things in the Rocket League edition. So I think it was a no-brainer that we continue this through the FIFA 20 side, and looking forward to seeing all the morale kind of come around this tournament, kind of like it did with Rocket League. And of course, you guys, we're talking about a May 4th kickoff. Everything is going to be on your club's Twitch channel. So when you're trying to watch your stream, find all the live games through there. And then, of course, the Championship and League One will be posting highlights throughout the games as well. So you can find stuff like that there. And then we're anticipating a lot of fun interviews and one-offs and a lot of content spiraling off of that. So, Scott, I think this is going to be a really fun addition and a really nice follow-up to Rocket League.
Yeah, I can't wait to get going. I'm echoing everything you said and just sprinkling on a little bit more. I mean, just try to do something different. You know, like I said, anybody can put on a FIFA tournament, and I think this one has not just some unique twists, but also the ability to involve Championship and League One teams again. I think is really cool. So if you're not rooting for your hometown squad, then you better pick a side fast, because I think we're going to see the favorites early on here.
I agree, and if you're trying to narrow it down, I've picked two really great ones. So just kind of hop on Team Steele, and we'll take it away. But you guys, we're ready to get this going. USL eCUP FIFA 20 edition, the second edition of our e-tournament series. It kicks off Monday, May 4th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna have a doubleheader. So Charlotte and Louisville and Greenville Triumph and New England are getting it going for us early there. So of course, stay tuned to Twitch and social, and we have a fun few weeks ahead of us.